What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Lucky Chops. Yes, indeed. How about that? Lucky Chops making their debut on the channel. Yeah, that's Lucky Chops, not to be confused with Lucky Charms. Let's make sure we make that clear. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bobbidi-bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Brett Parks, and Brett wanted to see me react to this. It is Lucky Chops doing a cover of the Lips Inc. Oh my goodness gracious, no way. A cover of the Lips Inc. song, Funkytown. Now, have I heard this song before? Full disclosure, yes I have. Listen, this is one of those songs that made a really big impact back in the day, and listen, it's been used everywhere. It's been used commercials, it's been used in television shows, it's been used in movies, it's been used in video games. They play it all the time in sporting events all around the world. This is one of those songs that you just, I don't know how anybody could possibly say that they've never heard this song before. I question it. You know, I absolutely question it. But yeah, I've definitely heard the original song. Now, having said that, this is a cover. And I've never even heard of Lucky Chops. So, full disclosure, full transparency, I'm not trying to hide anything here, okay? I will not be reacting to the original song itself in any way, shape, or form. The songwriting of the original song, the composition, the arrangement of the original song has nothing to do with this. I'm going to be basing my reaction, my evaluation, and my score completely on the cover that Lucky Chops comes up with. Are they going to do a carbon copy cover? Maybe. Are they going to take the song in a little bit of a different direction and put their own little spin on it? Maybe. Are they going to take it so far out into left field that we don't recognize the song at all? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to listen and find out, I guess. Let's see. This was posted by Lucky Chops. No surprise there. And the video has 2.3 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. A link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Lucky Chops, Funkytown with Leo P. and Adrian Condis live in the New York City subway. So this is one of those Busker Bands, right? Okay, cool. I've seen these before. I haven't seen this one, but I've seen, I think I did a reaction to something like this. I forgot what the name of it was, but yeah. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Yikes! 7:42? Wasn't the original song like less than 4 minutes? So they're going to open this up for solos, I guess. I hope. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this goes, I guess. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I like that little halftime break. I kind of wish they had kept that going for a little bit. Okay, look. Is it creative? Absolutely. This is nothing at all what I was expecting until I saw the entire band. I was like, okay, I think I know where we're going with this. Took them a while to get there. It did take them a little bit to get there, but once the main groove kicked in, it was very recognizable. They are definitely putting their own spin on it without question. It's a very nice spin. It's a very creative spin. Yeah, I see the approach. I see where they're going with it. It's, if I'm being honest, it's not really my thing. It's good. I mean, I will absolutely acknowledge the musicianship. I mean, everybody clearly knows how to play their instruments. Being done in a live setting like this, not easy to do. You get one take and one take only. So, kudos to all the musicians for doing their parts and nailing them. I've never really been a fan of this kind of stuff. I know, listen, I understand that there is a big following for, for Busker bands like this. I absolutely get it. And it's increasing. There's a definite rise. There's a definite uptick in Busker bands like this, and the attention that they're getting in mass media, especially on YouTube. They're getting lots of views on YouTube. I get it. But at the same time, I'm also not going to sit here and pretend like I love this because, it's not really my thing. But it is creative. It's recognizable. It's everything you want in a cover. Creativity with recognizability. So I got no problem with anything they're doing. Not on an objective point of view. Now, personally, subjective, yeah. Let's see what they got. Let's keep going here. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, I mean, there were some surprises along the way, without question. I don't know. I need to think about this. This is throwing me in a lot of different directions. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Lucky Chops with their rendition of the Lips Inc. song, Funkytown. And there's a little more than just Funkytown there. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here. This was a request from Brett Parks. Okay. I'm going to say some things during the course of this review that is probably going to trigger a few people. And I mean, look, if you're going to get triggered by what I say, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But you know, I'm expecting some backlash. I'm just going to say that. I'm expecting quite a bit of backlash, actually, for some of the things I'm going to say. Look, I'm not going to love every single thing that I see on the channel. Okay, that's an impossibility. You're not going to be able to watch and listen to 100 different things and love every single thing. It's impossible. You know, and considering the fact that this channel has I think we have over 3,000 videos on the channel now. There's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to sit here with a straight face and say, I love everything I've seen. I love everything I've heard. No, there's going to be things I love. Yes. There's going to be things I like. There's going to be things I'm not a big fan of. You know, I don't like it. There's going to be things that I absolutely cannot stand and I hate. And there's going to be things that I'm indifferent to. Okay? It's just, that is reality. Okay? Now, I know everybody's like, well, you know, all these other reaction channels, they love everything they see. And that's why they have so many more, you know, views and subscribers and stuff. Yeah, ask yourself this question. You know, are they like me? Will they call a spade a spade? Will they say whether they like something or not? Will they say if they don't like something or not? That's the more important question. How many of those channels have you ever seen any of those channels say they don't like something? You know, ask yourself that question before you come at me with that garbage. So, this was definitely, how should I put this? It was definitely interesting. And I don't mean interesting from a perspective of I've never seen this before. I've never seen something like this before. No, I've seen Busker Bands. I've seen Busker Bands live in person like this, performing in subways or train stations or whatever the case may be. Funny thing, if you're going to be, I don't know if this is true of everywhere, but I've read in comments and I've watched interviews with Busker Bands. There's a lot of places, and I don't know if this is so much true in the United States, but overseas, in Europe especially, you have to have a license. You have to have there is a thing called a busker license, and you have to have it if you're going to be performing in public in subways and stuff. Now, I don't know if that's true in America, but over in Europe, I know that's a thing, and I'm like, wow, you're really making a commitment if you're going to be doing that. You have to get a license? My goodness. And if you're performing in a subway without a busker license, you could face some very serious penalties. So, kudos to the buskers out there, you know, going out there and grinding and, you know, making a living doing this. Kudos to you guys, because you are definitely grinding, man. You are hustling. I respect the hell out of that. I absolutely do. Looking at this cover, I was torn in a lot of different directions. It wasn't just polar opposite, you know, love it, hate it, you know, or you know, impressed, not impressed. No, I was torn in seriously like 8 different directions with this. And this is why I had such a hard time coming up with a score here. But I do have a score. I absolutely do. Now, before I give the score, I need to reiterate this. I am not taking the original song into account here. I can't, because I've heard the original song, or songs, plural in this case. I've heard both of these songs, both Funkytown and I Feel Good from James Brown. I've heard both of these songs multiple times. Very familiar with both of them. But hearing them combined in this cover, in this style, this was definitely something new. So I'm basing my reaction, I've already done the reaction. I'm basing my evaluation and my score based on the cover. What was done with this? What was done with these two songs? And the score, here's the thing. I think the score is absolutely deserved. I think the score absolutely belongs where it belongs on an objective, point of view. From a personal point of view, not so much. I don't necessarily personally agree with the score I'm giving it, but it is the score I feel this cover deserves. Let's get to it, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, just waiting for the hate to come, I'm going to give that an 8.2. Yup, 8.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.2. What does that mean? Well, an 8.2 would translate to a great scale rating. Yes, it's getting a great score. Calm down, everybody. Just because it's not getting a 9 does not mean it's getting a bad score at all. Getting an 8.2, which is a great scale rating. It would also get 4 out of 5 stars, and check this out, an A- letter grade. Yeah, let that one sink in. So there you go, an 8.2, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay, a number of factors came into this. Number 1, am I a fan? No, not really, no. I've never really been a fan of this kind of stuff. I've seen it, I've experienced it firsthand. I've heard a number of songs by a number of different Busker bands like this, and I get it. There's definitely an appeal there, and they're gonna get their following, man. They're gonna get their fan base, and it's cool. I'm happy for them. I'm glad they're growing. I'm glad that they're expanding and they're gaining new eyes and gaining new ears, gaining new fans. I'm happy for them. I really am. I am just not one of those people. I just don't dig on this kind of stuff. Now, having said that, it is creative. They took not one, but 2 different songs and brought them together, 2 very distinct halves. It's not like they interweaved them between each other. No, it was this. Here was Funkytown. Here was I Feel Good, and they clearly had their places, okay? But that was creative just in itself. That was creative because the title just says Funkytown. So I was not ready for I Feel Good to be brought in there. That was a nice touch. I gotta say that was creative. It went really well together. It did go out into left field a little bit. They definitely put their own feel and their own spin on it. I thought that was well done. I thought the voicing assignments were well organized. I thought it was well arranged. Obviously, I'm not taking songwriting into account because it is a cover, but the arrangement was really well done. Who played what, where, when, and how. Awesome. I thought that was a really well done job. The usage of dynamics, didn't expect that at the end, but everybody actually came down. Usually with bands and acts like this, most of the time it's play forte. When in doubt, forte, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's very stereotypical for this style of band, but they actually did have some dynamic play in there, which was nice. When they were playing with dynamics, it showed some maturity within their arrangement. Instrumentally, everybody can clearly play their instruments. It's very obvious. In particular, big shout out to the trombone player and the trumpet player. They really showed some nice technique work, especially the trumpet player with those slurs, being able to, dig as deep as he did with the slurs without changing the valve. That was interesting to see, and it was interesting to hear, and it was to some extent, I would even say, impressive. Get some serious Tower of Power vibes out of that core horn section. The trombone, the trumpet, the bari sax is kind of kind of definitely getting some Tower of Power vibes, especially along the lines of like, get on up and knock yourself out. I mean, I was really kind of getting some vibes there of that type of a direction. So I'm curious, I would be curious to know, have these guys ever covered Tower of Power? If they have, somebody please shoot me that link, because I would love to see it. I don't know if I'll do a reaction to it, but I would definitely love to see it, because I'm a big Tower of Power fan. No, like I said, musically, everybody obviously knows how to play their instruments. I saw a variety. Never expected to see a sousaphone in the mix. That was cool. You know, with 3 Barry saxes, why do you need a sousaphone? Why not? You know, have a warm low end as opposed to the harsh low end. You know, it's a nice blend for sure. A lot of low end there represented. 2 drummers, cool. I don't quite get it, but it looks like one was focusing more on kick and snare, and the other one was focusing more on snare and cymbals. That's interesting. It worked. It absolutely worked. And I think at the end of the day, that's what really it comes down to, is everything worked.
It just works. It just fucking works.
Despite the fact that I may not necessarily be a fan of it, it all worked. And it didn't just work. It worked in ways that, in some ways, slightly impressed me. It did. So this is how I'm coming up with the 8.2. Like I said, personally, no, I would never get... on a personal level, I would never give this an 8.2. This would be down somewhere in the low 7s, you know, maybe high 6s. But looking at this objectively, there's no denying that there was, number one, between the arrangement, the creativity, the dedication to the I hate to say it, but to the shtick of what they do as a Busker band. Man, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Plus, musicianship wise, everybody did a fine job on their instruments. So overall, I gotta say, despite my own personal reservations, this was a great job. It really was. You take everything into account, and I got no choice but to give it a great score. I may not like the score personally, but it's what it deserves. And that's why I'm giving it that great score of 8.2. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.2, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.